would say the word, he'd use the word, and he would look at me and say, you can't get mad at me at that because that means fire sticks.
Tonight, employee conduct investigations in Victoria's Bylaw department. CTV News speaks with two past employees who allege the workplace culture is toxic. Also tonight.
Having ownership that's local, that's here, that's going to be around for a long time is really important to them.
A Mid-Island nation expands its business operations by purchasing a profitable pair of BC casinos. Plus, Adam finds out how a woman with no experience fixing cars built a timeless friendship with a senior who was an expert at it. That's later on the Sawatsky Sign-Off. Good evening and thank you for joining us. CTV News has uncovered information that highlights a series of investigation into bullying, harassment and discrimination in Victoria's Bylaw department. We spoke with two former employees who allege the workplace culture is toxic. CTV's Anna McMillan now with her investigation.
Nelson Duarte has filled 3 binders with documentation of what he calls toxicity while he was employed at the City of Victoria's Bylaw department.
I feel like too many people have been victim to this office.
The former bylaw officer worked there until October. He's gay and alleges some department staff use homophobic, transphobic, and other discriminatory language.
One of the males would say something like, he would use the word, and he would look at me and say, you can't get mad at me at that because that means fire sticks.
Another former bylaw employee claims some colleagues made fun of Duarte for encouraging officers to put pride emblems on their uniforms.
Then as soon as he would leave the room, he was called complete homophobic slurs.
That past employee left the department in recent years, and we're protecting her identity because she worries speaking out could damage her career.
I was called a witch, I was called fat, I was called stupid, I was called an alcoholic. I was degraded constantly by numerous bylaw officers.
CTV News filed a Freedom of Information request to learn whether there have been any workplace conduct investigations in the bylaw department. In the last 5 years, there have been 10, including 3 so far this year. They looked into respect, discrimination, bullying, and harassment. Ultimately, 8 of those 10 complaints were found to be legitimate.
These people need to be respected and cared about. This is the government. This is the city municipal. This is what people's tax dollars go to.
The city declined CTV's interview request, saying it doesn't comment on personnel matters. In an email, a spokesperson says identifying improvements are often part of an investigation follow-up, which can include clarifying expected standards of conduct, safety protocols, and additional training or other supports.
I don't want the next person to walk in there to be treated like how I was.
Both past employees allege some inappropriate behavior was overlooked, and going forward, they want all concerns to be taken seriously.
These are people's lives that they're trusting with the city to protect them while they serve the members of the public and the city.
Despite multiple probes, Duarte believes the problem persists, and by going public, he hopes the need for investigations into workplace conduct is eliminated. Anna McMillan, CTV News, Esquimalt.
Today, the Canadian Armed Forces presented survivors with a long-awaited apology regarding the institutionalized racism that members have faced.
I apologize to every CAF member, veteran who experienced racism, discrimination, and harassment. And I acknowledge we failed you.
An acknowledgement the Chief of Defense Staff says marks both a milestone and a difficult day for the military. Feelings on the apology are mixed among veterans today, with some calling the remarks performative and hollow. The military, which recent reports show is becoming more diverse, says it's committed to real and lasting culture change and that this is just one step along that path. The Snuneymuxw First Nation is adding to its casino ownership portfolio in a big way, acquiring the largest and most profitable casino in BC.
Snuneymuxw is purchasing River Rock Casino Resort.
Snuneymuxw First Nation Chief Mike Weiss made the announcement this morning. Through its Petroglyph Development Group, the nation has entered into agreements with Great Canadian Entertainment to purchase 2 more casinos, the River Rock Casino Resort as well as Chances Casino in Maple Ridge. The chief says revenue generated from the casinos will go towards improving the lives of its members.
It's going to look after not only health and wellness is number one. Housing, what is needed? Housing. There's a lot of our members that live off reserve that it could provide more future housing for them. Education is very important as well.
The price and other terms of the deal have not yet been disclosed and are still subject to regulatory approval. Great Canadian Entertainment says the Petroglyph Development Group is a proven leader in gaming operations and that these casinos will have a bright future for years to come.
I think the properties will actually be managed much better under Snuneymuxw leadership. I also think that most of our staff and our team are really excited about these opportunities because having ownership that's local, that's here, that's going to be around for a long time is really important to them.
Earlier this year, Snuneymuxw First Nation purchased the Nanaimo Casino and Elements Casino Victoria. Well, a pair of specialty health clinics on Vancouver Island are strained by funding. That's putting services at risk. Both of them offer longer appointment times for patients who are marginalized or need more complex care. And advocates say we should be prioritizing their ability to thrive. CTV's Yvonne Raymond reports.
An inclusive community health center in Saanich, flooded with demand.
We get upwards of 300 phone calls a day.
Is struggling to keep up and worried about the survival of a unique part of its service.
It doesn't feel great. Primary care that we offer here for attached patients will not be changing. That will continue to operate. The sexual health program, which has the higher demand for administration, is the program that is being affected by our deficit.
Despite getting financial support from the province, Island Sexual Health says rising costs and underinvestment is causing deficits. It's fundraising to bring back an administrative position to preserve part of the program, which includes STI testing and cervical cancer screenings. And it's not the only one under pressure.
We're providing attachment to complex patients, so patients with mental health and addiction challenges, patients with brain injury, and patients with other barriers to health and other complex medical conditions. We're focusing on these high needs patients that otherwise would have difficult time to be attached to a family physician, to a primary care provider.
The Saanich Peninsula Outreach Team's temporary contract for space expires in March. And without a specific payment deal with the province, it says it won't have the money to go somewhere else.
This is actually where we should be funding and putting our money in to take that pressure off of our hospitals.
Our clinic and clinics like this are essential.
The doctor says SPOT prevents emergency department visits through preventative, sometimes life-saving care.
The evidence is that these services actually save money.
And like Island Sexual Health, it wants programming to stay. Yvonne Raymond, CTV News.
In the early hours of Sunday morning, the clocks will fall back as we once again slip into standard time. That means an extra hour of sleep, although the sun will be setting earlier, making the days feel shorter. The practice of falling back and springing forward has been a debate for years, with many asking if we should abolish it altogether. A psychology professor at Camosun College who studies the time change says many land on continuing with daylight savings time, which means keeping the longer days. However, Dr. Mike Pollock says we should stick with standard time as our brains need the early morning daylight, and keeping the clocks rolled back is bad for our health.
It's going to be what I'm calling MAD, M-A-D. It's mornings artificially darkened. And from a circadian point of view, that's terrible, that our brain's internal clock needs to have that morning sunlight. When the day lengths are shorter, getting that morning sunlight is essential to keep us in sync with the natural daylight cycles. That if you don't get that, then all winter long, your brain is going to be wanting you to sleep in and stay up later. And so it's going to be a kind of a form of jet lag, essentially, that will be all winter long.
Dr. Pollack says switching to daylight savings time has been tried before, first in the U.S. in 1974, as well as in Russia in 2011. Both times people complained, saying they didn't like to go to school and work in the dark, and the practice was overturned. Well, with Halloween just one day away, first responders on the South Island are offering a few tips on safety as trick-or-treaters take to the streets. As always, trick-or-treaters are encouraged to wear a bright costume or to have lights on hand to heighten visibility and to carry a cell phone in case of emergency. Drivers are also being warned to slow down in popular residential areas and to be prepared for kids crossing at unexpected places. And if trick-or-treating isn't your thing, folks on the South Island are invited to celebrate the evening with community as the North Saanich Fire Department hosts their annual Halloween bonfire.
We have a large bonfire with finishing with a fireworks show at 7:15. We have a live band this year, Emergency Exit, which was a local band. They came out last year, so they've offered to come out again this year, which was fantastic. Kind of adds a new element to the event. Doors open at 6 o'clock. We have 1,000 hot dogs to serve, all by donation to Santa's Anonymous.
North Saanich's largest community event of the year kicks off tomorrow evening at 986 Wayne Road. Well, still to come, conservation cleanup.
It's on our beach. Let's clean it up. Let's not point fingers and get it done. Get it out of here.
A Mid-Island community concerned with pollution comes together in an effort to clear debris from local beaches. And Anne will be back after the break with the full forecast, sitting at 12 degrees right now.
CTV weather brought to you by Expedia Cruises, customizing dream vacations with unbelievable value. Call or learn more at expediacruises.ca.
Hey, West Shore Youth, looking for a fun spot to hang out? Youth nights are here. Skating, art, swims, and a place to chill. Staff-led and supervised for a safe, inclusive vibe. Check out wspr.ca for more info.
Well, Anne, a lot of kids are going to be out trick-or-treating tomorrow. Do you think we'll get some favorable weather?
It looks not too bad right now, so let's get into it. We do have a system offshore, and this is the weather maker bringing in some strong winds for the north coast of Vancouver Island. There are warnings in effect with winds gusting to about 110 kilometers an hour through the day tomorrow, and this is how everything will play out. On our futurecast, we're looking at dry conditions right now through the morning hours. That's when the rain rolls in, heavy at times for your early morning commute, continuing through the afternoon, and then look at that, stopping at 6 o'clock. It looks like it dries up with a few scattered showers just around the inland portions as well as the west coast through the evening hours, and then the rain redevelops as we head into early Saturday morning through the overnight hours. So it looks like Mother Nature is in favor of Halloween. So tomorrow it will be wet and windy. Taking a look at the North Island, don't forget to turn your clocks back Saturday night into Sunday. Periods of rain once again with showers in the morning for Monday, and then in the afternoon for Tuesday. For inland sections, the rain will be heavy at times, 30 to 50 millimeters of rain expected into Saturday morning before it dries up. Scattered showers on Sunday with showers on Monday and Tuesday as well. So for the west coast, upwards of 70 millimeters of rain tomorrow. Periods of rain continue for Saturday with a few scattered showers on Sunday, Monday, with rain returning on Tuesday. Into Comox, we'll see 20 to 30 millimeters of rain, windy as well into Saturday morning before it clears up. A mix of sun and cloud expected for Sunday. Nanaimo will see anywhere between 20 to 30 millimeters of rain into Saturday morning before drying up. A mix of sun and cloud on Sunday with a few showers for Monday and Tuesday. So a wet Halloween until tomorrow night, 10 degrees for Victoria into Saturday morning before it dries up. You'll see sunny breaks on Sunday, Monday and Tuesday, 10 degrees with a few showers. CTV weather brought to you by Expedia Cruises for air, land and sea vacation. So fingers crossed, Yasmin, it's looking like it'll be dry just in time for the trick-or-treaters to head out.
Definitely good news for the little ones. Thanks for that, Anne. Well, huge tires weighing tons upon tons keep washing ashore on Campbell River beaches, not knowing where they are coming from, and no one is taking responsibility. A community effort has evolved to get them off the beach. CTV's Andy Garland explains.
It's not your typical beachcombing find.
Just under 10 feet, pretty much a meter.
These two massive columns of tires washed ashore on a Campbell River beach after a recent storm, most likely from an industrial dock along the coast.
We're not really sure where they came from. and we're trying to avoid pointing fingers who's at fault.
It's not the first time it's happened in the area. In August, plucking 3 of these giants, which were there for months, was no easy task.
The 3 of them weighed 22,000 pounds. So each one 7,000 and a bit.
The Campbell River Salmon Foundation says the concern is not the tires themselves per se, but rather the pea foam inside that keeps them afloat.
This stuff will all erode and reduce down into the individual peas.
At that point, it's virtually impossible to clean up.
I imagine it's in the environment forever. You can't, we tried to vacuum it up and all that kind of thing, but it doesn't work.
The foundation adds that finding a government agency that is responsible for marine debris cleanup simply doesn't exist, and that's why they're taking matters into their own hands.
It's on our beach. Let's clean it up. Let's not point fingers and get it done. Get it out of here.
Greenways Land Trust, an environmental nonprofit in Campbell River, has been working with the foundation in cleanup efforts surrounding the tires and organized a volunteer cleanup of styrofoam associated with the tires last week.
In just over an hour, remove around 430 kilos of styrofoam.
With no easy access point, removing these 11 tires from the beach, however, is going to take a lot more planning to make happen.
Trying to figure out the best option, if it's better to tug them out or to try to get machines on the beach. We're still in the works.
And it could take months for a plan to come together. Andy Garland, CTV News, Campbell River.
The village of Sayward has sent its residents a water conservation notice as the area's reservoir falls below its operating levels. In an update last night, the village says water reservoir levels currently stand at 69% full, falling well short of its normal level of over 90%. They say the decrease was expected as the area's water treatment plant was unable to produce and pump water due to high turbidity in Newcastle Creek. The pump has since been restarted and water is now being fed into the reservoir. Residents are still urged to conserve their water by limiting usage until levels normalize in a few days. Well, West Shore RCMP have released a new photo of a person of interest in the theft of several EV charging cables in Langford and Colwood. Mounties are looking for a man with lighter colored skin wearing dark clothing. RCMP believe he may have been driving a light colored older model Jeep Patriot. Between September 30th and October 4th, the alleged cable cutter hit EV chargers at the Peninsula Co-op on West Shore Parkway, the Shell gas station on Finnelson Arm Road, as well as the Juan de Fuca Recreation Center in Colwood, causing thousands of dollars worth of damage. If you can help identify this person of interest, you are asked to call the West Shore RCMP or Crime Stoppers. Coming up, Carla's Cars. Adam finds out what happened after a North Saanich woman who had zero experience fixing cars felt compelled to buy a classic in need of a lot of work. That's next on the Sawatsky Sign-Off.
A trusted voice focused on Vancouver Island first.
Good news for tourism.
Sharing stories.
We're here in Esquimalt Lagoon
that hit closest to home.
Housing is a growing issue. What's your plan?
Watch weekdays at 4:30 and at ctvnewsvancouverisland.ca.
Finally, Adam finds out how a North Saanich woman's purchase of a classic car inspired an enduring friendship on the Sawatsky Sign-Off.
Carla Escobar never expected her life would change after happening upon an old car online, needing a lot of work.
I thought, I wonder if I could restore a classic car.
So Carla bought it despite having zero experience.
Yeah, my brother would laugh at me all the time because I barely knew how to put gas into my car.
But the Army veteran who served in Afghanistan had always been resourceful. So she started teaching herself how to rebuild it.
You just trial and error, you take things apart, you put them back together.
And for the stuff she couldn't figure out, Carla reached out to experts, including Brian Kelly.
Brilliant, smart, mischievous, adventurous. Let's go!
When they weren't going on road trips to hunt for parts, they were having conversations that range from fuel pumps to philosophy.
I mean, in the beginning, it was kind of like a car buddy kind of, relationship, but by the end of it, he was kind of like a father to me in a lot of ways.
After Carla finished her car, Brian was so impressed, he invited her to refurbish one of his.
And he's like, I know you can do it. If you're going to do only one car for the rest of your life, make it this one.
They agreed to work together, and over the next year spent countless hours preparing to rebuild the car. But before they could finish it, Brian discovered that he was beyond repair.
So I was with him till the very end. Our bond was just really big.
After Brian died, his daughters gave Carla this hat their dad always wore before she raced to finish restoring one of the rarest cars in Brian's collection so it could be driven during his celebration of life.
It was a work of love for sure. Like it was, you know, he was with me every moment.
But what Carla didn't know, what Brian never told her, was that he'd left this car for her in his will.
And I know that he knew I was going to take care of his baby.
Well, Carla is proud she taught herself a lot about fixing classic cars. She couldn't be more grateful that Brian taught her even more about building a timeless friendship.
I think that's the greatest gift you can give to someone is your time, your energy, and your love. And that's ultimately, I think, what life is all about.
Adam Swatsky, CTV News, North Saanich.
That's it for CTV News Vancouver Island. Thanks so much for joining us.